So, do you have the ability to buy your first home, but you're just not sure you're ready? Or you've got some fear. Perhaps you've had some friends tell you they bought their first home, or family has said, watch out for this. Let's get into it. I want to talk about the 3 regrets millennials have when they buy their first home. Hi, I'm Tony Bonatati. We're going to talk about those regrets. The 3 big regrets that first-time homebuyers have. And I remember sharing with some friends that bought a home that maybe I told them it was a good idea, and they said, hey, I wish I knew this. The first regret that millennials have when they buy their first home is they underestimate the cost of actually living in that home. So, have you ever had this happen? You buy something at a store and you give them your email address and you get coupons and you get 20% off and you get the next sale is. When you buy your home, you're going to get inundated with services. Maybe you've unplugged and you don't have cable. Still, you have to decide, do I connect YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus? What are the services I want for viewing? You got to buy the internet service, AT&T or Charter or whoever your local provider is. What about lawn care? Do I need to pay for that? Should I do it myself? Pest control, security system. How many things did you not calculate in your monthly expense with this home that you wish you knew ahead of time? So to overcome the regret of piling on services, make sure you have a full list of everything you would expect to pay in this home. And if you're in an apartment right now, you probably pay one price and you don't really have to do anything else. There's a big difference to being a homeowner. There's significant benefit to your long-term wealth, but at the same time, it can crimp your budget pretty well. So the first regret is underestimating your expenses on a monthly basis. And as we know, if we're paycheck to paycheck or we're month to month, or even if we're doing pretty well and we've got money to put aside every month for savings, these little things will add up and they will cause some angst and regret. One of the interesting ones is taxes, insurance, and HOA fees. You may live in a neighborhood that you didn't even think there was cost to pay for the lighting or the tennis courts, or perhaps you knew and it was just a couple $100 and you didn't really think about it. I want you to add up what those taxes are going to be every month, what that insurance, homeowner's insurance is going to be. What are some of the extra costs? Do I have to trim trees every year? Do I have to repaint some part of the home? Do I have to clean the gutters out? Perhaps there's a lot of leaves. Do I have to put a fence up? These things are going to cost you money, and I want you to know that ahead of time. Because the first regret, as mentioned, is underestimating your expenses. The next regret that first-time homebuyers have is they had to settle for what was on the market. So they were really excited about a home because emotionally when they walked in it had the right drapes or it had the right kitchen, but they didn't really get everything else they wanted. Perhaps they needed bigger closets but overlooked that. Perhaps they needed less bedrooms, but this home came with it. The second regret is emotional, and that is, what did I do? So you have the first one being financial, the second one being buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse is interesting. You know, have you ever bought a car and you drive it off the lot and you're like, and then, okay, it's the right car for me. Well, after 3 days, it's definitely the right car for you because you're not taking it back. A home is even more illiquid. If you don't like the home you just bought, you're really going to have to live there for a couple of years till you figure it out. Or you're going to have to make some expensive changes. So my tip is that you go in with fresh eyes several times. You have a list of things you really want in your home, not only the location, but what features and benefits do you really want? If you really like sitting by the fireplace and there's no fireplace, is that going to cause buyer's remorse? If you have more square footage than you really need. Is that going to make you feel a certain way? So I want to take you through the process of buyer's remorse as a regret and tackle that before we close. Remember, when you have a home under contract, even though there's a lot of other folks that can swoop in and buy that home, maybe you should let them. Here's my point. The second regret is really how you're going to feel after you purchase that home. And I want you to feel right about it. So let's break it down into two examples. Remember, the first regret was I overspent. So I want you to look at buyer's remorse in two ways. If I buy this home, what am I hoping to achieve? Is it financial wealth? How long will I live there? Does it fit my current lifestyle? If I change jobs, is it hard to get into this neighborhood? Is it too far from the freeway? This is another way we regret our home purchase. The third regret oftentimes is exactly that. I purchased a home that doesn't exactly fit the lifestyle I wanted. Perhaps you're thinking you want to live in the suburbs, but you've been urban the last 10 years. That's a big change. So moving into a neighborhood that perhaps doesn't have like-kind lifestyle residents could be very taxing. So when you think about the regret, I want you to picture yourself buying this home and sitting with your neighbors and driving to the grocery store. Does it have the services you want? If you're used to shopping at Whole Foods and the only grocery store nearby is a value store, are you going to be okay with that? If everyone else is buying an SUV and you want to drive a Mini, are you going to be okay with that? You're an individual, I'm an individual. We have likes and needs. We also want to be like-minded. Sometimes the neighborhood you have to buy in has to do more with what's available. So the third regret is not having an alignment. Perhaps it is better for you to wait. Stay in the rental unit another year downtown until the kind of home comes up that you really want. I want you to be a homeowner, but I don't want you to have regret when you buy your first home. I hope this was helpful. If it has been, please subscribe below and submit your questions. I'd love to hear back from you. See you again soon.